As dog owners, we all know this feeling. Hi, baby. It's a feeling John and Gila Kurtz knew well too, as dog owners themselves. In fact, they realized the pet industry was lacking a brand that showcased this love humans have for their dogs. And that's where they came up with the idea for Dog is Good.
You're watching The GrowWire Show.
So bring me back then to when you guys first had this idea for Dog is Good.
We saw the humanization of pets, dogs in particular, and it was when I was at a continuing education conference. There was a vendor there selling some t-shirts, but they were all the same. And I do remember standing there thinking to myself, you know, I do love my dog, but it's more than that.
Yeah.
And I wish there was something that expressed my love of dogs, but also in a way that was stylish and something that I would want to wear. So when I returned home, I said to John, you know, this is what I would love to do. I wish we could do this. And he's like, why don't we create it?
It wasn't like we were planning to launch a major business. It was like, hey, let's put something together and see what happens.
Right. But then as it progressed, we started thinking like, hey, we really have an opportunity to create a brand here.
But John and Gila's new business idea didn't launch immediately. They had their hands full, moving from Washington to California for John's new role at the Naval Weapons Station. So they started the paperwork, but this new idea remained a hobby, for now.
One of the things that's required to trademark anything is to show that it's in commerce. And so we did create a few things, and one of those things was a ball cap. When I entered one of my friend's homes, as soon as I walked in wearing Dog is Good, she stopped and said, where did you get that hat? And it was that instant moment of just validation on people saying, oh, you should be in stores. And I came home and I told John, and we just, like, and immediately that was the point at which you said, let's start this, let's do this.
Can you tell us what you decided to create as the mission for Dog is Good and what inspired that?
What we sell, honestly, is people's first 2 minutes in the door.
Yeah.
How they feel that moment their pup is running towards them, and you know, they're putting all their cares from the day behind them, and that feeling that they get, it's so unique. The products that we create really are just the tangible that create that moment for that person.
Yeah.
John came up with a word.
So it's Dogvergnügen, from the German word Vergnügen, which is pleasure, basically how great you feel when you're with your dog.
With the mission locked in, Dog is Good was off to the races. John and Gila began making sales and developing a customer base at trade shows, all while building the company's infrastructure. And then the economy took a turn for the worst.
We had a lot going on. We had orders coming in, but we didn't know how long those would last. We're still doing events on the weekend. We're still pouring everything back in. Now we have to pay for an employee. We've got other things going on. And we've got a tanking economy. It ended up being a very long and deep recession.
Join us on part 2 of this episode of The GrowWire Show to learn how John and Gila's commitment to the company's mission helped them overcome some of their biggest challenges.
For me, it boils down to forward thinking. It's a bigger mission, it's a bigger message, it's a bigger way to touch lives.